My name is Elizabeth Fust, and I'm the founder and president of Gathering Strength, Inc. I was a 38-year-old perfectly healthy attorney when I suddenly had a spinal cord stroke in the morning of January 28th, 2006. It came out of nowhere and no one knows the cause, but it left me paralyzed from about the solar plexus down, and I am paraplegic and use a wheelchair. After my injury, which was decades after the passage of the Americans with Disabilities Act, I found that the community, the built environment, was really not that accessible for people using wheelchairs. And so it inspired me to work on issues that will help people like me to be more included in the community. Gathering Strength is a 501c3 tax-exempt nonprofit corporation located in Louisville, Kentucky. The mission of Gathering Strength is to empower people with physical disabilities by ensuring equitable access to community spaces and resources, to technology, and to better health. Gathering Strength is a disability-led organization. 50% of our board are people with disabilities. We all have an interest in civic activity and justice work and community building in Louisville. We know that the challenges and barriers that people with disabilities experience are exacerbated by race, by geography, by ethnicity, and by poverty. Now, the relationship among all those things is complicated, but we are committed to addressing those overlapping realities and the difficulties that they pose for people. It's hard to find truly accessible public spaces. It's hard to get into the built environment anywhere. It is hard to find accessible parking. It's hard to navigate the healthcare system. It's difficult to engage in civic life. There's significant barriers to people with disabilities having access to health-promoting physical activity. Those barriers tend to be a lack of accessible facilities, a lack of accessible equipment, lack of reliable transportation, and the cost. And if you're a person with a disability who has secondary health conditions, which we all have, one of the ways you can take control of your life is to find a way to engage in meaningful exercise, because that helps with all the risk factors for heart disease, for cancer, for stroke. And in fact, in Kentucky, people with disabilities are 3 times more likely than their able-bodied peers to have heart disease, high blood pressure, stroke, and cancer. Gathering Strength takes 2 approaches to creating options for better health for people with disabilities. One, we provide online health and wellness activities that address those barriers that people have. They're free, they're accessible, they're in your home, and they're adapted. What we know is that when people have digital access, they have more access to employment opportunities, they have more access to resources, they have more access to civic engagement, and they can take care of health needs in that way. And it makes people with disabilities less isolated, and it is an important part of full inclusion in the community. We work in partnership with Fraser Rehab to support the Community Fitness and Wellness Gym, which is the only fully accessible gym in Louisville. Gathering Strength works to support individuals with disabilities, but we also work for long-term sustainable change, like corporate and public policy changes that will improve inclusion, accessibility, and engagement for people with disabilities. We also work to make sure that healthcare providers in Louisville comply with the ADA and make their services equally available to people with disabilities. Every one of us is just one car accident or one slip and fall or one faulty blood vessel away from becoming a person with a disability. In fact, people with disabilities are the largest minority group in the U.S. at 26% of the population. People with disabilities, we are resilient, excellent problem solvers, have a lot of tenacity and creativity. We should be involved as much as we possibly can. Gathering Strength works to ensure that people with physical disabilities, especially those who live on low income, can have better health, achieve better health outcomes, participate more in the community, and experience more self-sufficiency, lead a more independent life.